is Chris Machado. I'm going to give you some tips and tools on how to be happy all the time. Now, I am happy all the time, and I am happy because I'm in a very high frequency level. My consciousness has risen to a very high place, to one where I operate and live out of my spirit's consciousness. This happened as a result of a Kundalini awakening in year 2002. I had a great awakening, spontaneous, very powerful. It was like trying to get a drink of water with a fire hose. Put me through absolute hell for 10 years, but I'm through it. And now I can say I'm at the top of the mountain looking down. And when you're at the top of the mountain, they said, when I got there, they said, how can you tell anybody how beautiful it is from the top of the mountain unless you get there yourself? Now, the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to happiness is that happiness is a choice. You are either choosing happiness or you are either choosing unhappiness. Now, we all have an ego. An ego is the image we hold in ourselves of who we are, or at least who we think we are. And that ego is a thought. It's not real. It's a fictitious phantom. It's an imaginatory being. The Buddha discovered something that most people in this world still have not clicked into, that there is no you. There is no body to suffer. There is nobody to be unhappy. We believe we are our bodies, and therefore we believe that our bodies can suffer and that there is a person who can become unhappy. Nothing wrong with the body. It's a very beautiful thing. Nothing wrong with it. But when you identify with it, you start to worry, you start to fear, you start to create problems for yourself. This ego is 99.99% fear. Therefore, if you believe you are your ego, and most people do, then you will live in fear. When you're holding a fear thought, you cannot be happy. Imagine a grain of sand, one dark grain of sand on a beach of infinity of beautiful white grains. When you feel fear, you're focusing on the one tiny grain of dark sand on that beach. When you're aware of fear, you're not aware of the beautiful trees, the beautiful sun around you, the green grass. You're focused on fear. Fear is an illusion. It's not real. If you ask God, do you know what fear is? He would say, I don't know what you're talking about. I am love, and I only know love, and all its other reflections, peace, joy, happiness, and gratitude. Now when it comes to happiness, the problem is we think life is supposed to bring us happiness, when in truth we're supposed to bring happiness to life. We have desires all the time. It's inevitable. But we use our desires to get material things instead of using our desire to be happy and to be joyful right now without anything, no expectations. Happiness comes from conditions. It comes from wanting certain things. You lose weight, you're happy. You get a mate, you're happy. You get a new job, you're happy. But when those things go, so does your happiness level. Seek joy, because joy is your true essence. Joy doesn't need anything, it's interdependent. Joy is who you are, it's your spirit. Now, what you need to do every morning when you get up is set forth an intention, a desire to have a good day, to see beauty in everything, and more importantly, to see beauty in yourself and the present moment. I'm going to give you many tools to utilize throughout this talk. Now, a lot of people in this world think money will bring them happiness. But the truth is, it won't. It'll just make you more of what you are. If you're miserable, it'll keep you miserable. If you're happy, it'll make you a more happier person. Money doesn't bring happiness. Happiness brings money. We are living, breathing magnets. Our thoughts shoot out at the speed of light to the universe, and it's an answering machine. Whatever we send out, the universe just takes and it creates for us. It creates our future experience based on our thoughts. Now, when you feel good, you are a different person than when you feel bad. When you feel good, which is what your spirit feels all the time, and it is who you are tapping into your source, who you really are. When you feel bad, you're focusing on the phantom, the ego. Now, the ego is not good or bad, it's just your identity. A lot of people try to get rid of it, to destroy it. Whatever you try and fight will become ugly. You know, if you fight fire with fire, you'll have a blaze on your hand. The ego can be trained, just like a lion can be trained, an elephant can be trained. I still have an ego, but it's a loving ego, because my frequency has altered and changed it. I see myself as a loving being, therefore my ego is a loving entity. I don't want to get rid of it. Many times I'm so concentrated in the now that this happens. It totally dissolves because I'm totally in one sync with the universe and my source. Now, what you need to know is that your spirit is talking to you all the time, 24 hours a day for the rest of your life, with emotion. When you think an unhappy thought, you get a bad feeling. That's your higher self, your spirit within you, saying, this won't bring you happiness. This is an illusion. This is just your perception. It's not reality in the eyes of the universe. So you need to ask yourself, every time I feel bad, look at your thought and what is it that's triggering that feeling. We are always telling ourselves stories. And we feel bad because we're telling ourselves an unhappy story. We're saying, I don't have enough money. Things don't work out. I still don't have my mate. The lottery jackpot hasn't come yet. I don't like my job. Be aware of what you're telling yourself and realize that you could change your story at any time. You're in charge, not your mind. Happiness is you choosing your thoughts rather than your mind choosing your thoughts, rather than your ego choosing your thoughts. If you're not aware of your thinking patterns, you're on autopilot. You may be headed to Thailand into a monsoon. What you want to do is take charge, be awake, and take that plane to Hawaii where you can enjoy the nice beach, the beautiful waves, the warmth, pina colada, whatever you want. Now, it's good to remember that happiness, I live in a place where I'm only aware of love. And love is happiness, love is joy, love is peace, love is gratitude, love is clarity, love is wisdom, love is courage, love is relaxation. Love is grace, love is positive energy. When I'm in a place where I'm aware that it's impossible not to be happy. Happiness is what we're here for. Joy is what we're here for. Love is what we're here for. Now, you've heard of the 10 Commandments by Moses, probably. Now, his 10 Commandments didn't say, I'm going to win the lottery, or I have won the lottery, or I am successful all the time. I see beauty in all things. What you need to do is remember you got 10 fingers. Add a commandment to each finger. A commandment that you want to choose to experience in your future. When you choose a positive thought, you feel it now, and then you experience it in the future. So if you feel a bad thought now, you're going to feel it, and then you'll experience it in the future. So what you want to do is, I have commandments. I'm going to suggest the first one and the last one for you. You can fill in the others. The first one you should make is simply this: I am in charge. Most people don't feel that or believe that. See, most people try to control life. And control comes from the ego, and the ego doesn't really exist. It's an illusion. You cannot control life because it's a river that's flowing all the time, and you cannot stop the river. All you can do is take charge of the river, take charge of your life. You get rid of control by realizing that you're in charge, not by trying to erase the belief of control, just by affirming over and over, I am in charge. What that means is, the minute you think you have control, that's the minute you lose control, because you can't control anything. Control comes from fear. If I don't control it, something bad might happen. Now, I don't believe in duality anymore. I believe in love, which means there is no bad. I don't see flaws in people. I don't judge people. I accept what they are. I see myself in all things. Now, the last commandment that I think, well, going back to the charge place. When you realize that you're in charge, you realize that there's nothing to control, because if a disease comes, you choose health and you create health. If you become broke, you choose prosperity and you create prosperity. If anything bad happens, you choose the opposite, you focus on it, and you get it. You can alter your experience just like that. One positive thought is more powerful than thousands of bad thoughts. Now, feeling good and happy is an art. It doesn't happen all at once. You must practice the feeling of happiness. You must entertain thoughts of what you want to experience. Most people look at their lives. They're focused on their lives. Whatever you give your conscious attention to grows until it becomes part of your reality. If you look at the bank account that you have that says there's only $1,000 in there, and you keep aware of that, it will remain there. You will not bring more money to you. If you imagine there's $1 million in there, sure, you're lying to yourself, but your mind's been lying to you all throughout your life with all these lies that you've heard. So you need to tell yourself lies that are going to become the truth. It's not a lie if it becomes the truth. If you envision something in your mind as if it's already happening, it will happen in the future. That's how it works. We become our thoughts. We become what we think about. That is Earl Nightingale. That was his famous one line. We become what we think about. That is the secret to failure and success. People who fail expect failure. People who succeed expect success. We don't always get what we want. We get what we expect. That's what we get in life. So if you keep looking at your life, I haven't found a mate for 10 years, you will remain there. If you start imagining in your mind that you have a mate, you see yourself on picnics with them, you go to the ocean and sit by the beach with them, you have wine at restaurants, you hear them speaking to you, oh, you're the best person in the world. You create that reality now, and you'll experience it in the future. You must create now what you want to experience in the future. Our feelings are the catalyst. Thoughts are thoughts, but when you add feelings to them, they become, a thought is like a ripple in the pond. You drop a rock and there's a ripple. You add a feeling to it, it becomes more of a wave. You give more power to it, and it speeds up the creation process. The last commandment I think you should have is simply this: there's only love. And I am love, because that's all there is. If there's only love, then I am love. If I am love, I cannot experience anything other than love. And if I am love, and God is love, then I am also God. Most people don't believe that. They put God on a pedestal, and therefore they feel distant to Him. God is who you are. Who do you think is watching me talk, hearing me talk? Who is sitting where you are? When you walk, who is allowing you to walk? Who is allowing you to see? This is a good meditation for you. Who is it? Every time you ask, who is it, your spirit will answer that question, usually within 48 hours. And they'll answer it with a feeling and an intuitive knowing, which will alter your perception. Who is it? You are the source, looking outside of yourself. Now, the problem with people is they use their desires to get material things. Material things are fleeting happiness. They are not true happiness. Now, material things, this is an analogy. When children are young, they play with toys. They get enjoyment out of toys. As they grow up, they no longer get enjoyment out of those toys. As you grow spiritually, you realize that the material toys are just toys. They're not happiness. And you rise to a different standard, and you realize that feelings are your new toys. Generating compassion for other people, kindness, gratitude, looking for the beauty in things. Now, people work so hard to be happy. When you say, I want to be happy, that thought is what keeps you from happiness. When you say, I want to be rich, that thought is what keeps you from being rich. When you say, I want peace, that thought is what keeps you from peace. You're saying, I want it because I don't feel like I have it. You're not in touch with your spirit. Now, I talk to angels, I talk to fairies, I talk to my unicorn friend Jaju, I talk to dragons, I talk to gnomes, I talk to my guides, I talk to my higher self. I have a beautiful master named Arias who was around 1,000 years before Christ. I talk to him. I talk to all kinds of beings. Now, your ego makes you feel separate, makes you feel lonely. Even though you're in a crowded room, you feel lonely because that's how your ego operates. It feels separate. It's not connected to the whole. As you grow spiritually, you feel a connection to all living things, especially the earth. Your body is a river of light. Now, you don't see it that way, but I'm aware of that because I'm totally aware of how things work. There's a river of light flowing through your body, out of your feet, into the earth all the time. And that river is constantly rejuvenating and renewing your body. Women spend a lot of money on cosmetics to stay young, creams and everything. If if you want to stay young, you need to see yourself as a young person. You need to